Hey, it's George from Joint Effort Exercise. As promised, here is a quick workout that you can do at home or anywhere if you're just beginning a strength training journey and you want to improve your strength, your balance, your stamina, or your overall functionality. So we're going to do three groups of movements today. We're just going to do one set of 10 repetitions for each exercise. As I mentioned earlier, this is really for beginners. So if you've been exercising consistently for long periods of time, or you're just working out with us consistently now, this may be a little bit on the easier side for you. You can still do it obviously, but this is really for beginners. So the way that we're going to start is I'll just describe what equipment we will need. So you're just going to need a light pair of dumbbells. So anywhere from 3 to 7 pounds would be good. If you don't have dumbbells at home or handy, you can always use a can or a couple of cans, a couple of jugs of water, so anything that has resistance or weight. I always say to have a chair or something that you can use that's like a sturdy surface to hang on to for the balance movements, and some water, and that's pretty much it. That's all you're going to need for this workout. So without further ado, let's get started. We always start with warm-ups at Joint Effort. We want to make sure that the cardiovascular system is warmed up, as well as the muscles that we're going to work are. So let's slide this forward just a little bit so I can stay in the screen. And we'll start with some modified jumping jacks. This is always a funny one. People say, well, I'm not the most coordinated person in the world. So this is always one that's a little bit challenging to get in terms of the coordination, but it's a great movement. It works a lot of major muscle groups. So again, stay kind of close to the surface the sturdy surface that you have. And we're just going to go step out with the right foot and the hands go up, and step out with the left foot and then hands go up and down, just like that. We're going to do like 8 on each side. This is 3, 4, so you're feeling your shoulders working a little bit, feeling your hips, and 2 more on each side. Go at your own pace. That's all. I'm going to say that a lot during this quick video, and that's good. Okay? All right, so 8 of those. So next we're going to do what we call high knees. So very simple movement. You're going to put your hand either on that chair or whatever you're using, or you can hover it over if you want to work on the balance as well. So all you're going to do is bring your knees up. So just kind of marching. So these are high knees. This is going to warm up the muscles of your hip flexors, your core, your hips a little bit, and just get the body ready to do some strength training. Let's just do 2 more on each side. And rest. Very good. All right, the final warm-up that we are going to do is called a butt kick. All right, so it is what exactly the name is. You're just going to bring your heels back towards your rear end. All right, so I'm just going to kind of shift my weight side to side. Bring your heels up, just like so, warming up the muscles of the hamstrings, which we see a lot of cramps in those hamstrings when people are first starting with us. So it's really important that we get them working without any resistance before we start adding weight. Let's just do 1 more on each side, and good. Okay. So now we've warmed up pretty much every major muscle group of the lower extremity, a little bit of the shoulders, which is a common area that we see injuries. So let's get into the actual strength training. I want to make this as quick of a video as I can for you because time is our most precious asset. So let's get moving. So what I'll do is I'm just going to put my weights down to the side. I'm going to take a seat in the chair here. And we're going to start with some sit to stands, which are a very basic movement. Helps to strengthen up the muscles of pretty much every major muscle group in the legs. So the quads, the hamstrings, and the glutes. And it's very simple. So you can do this in a few ways. You can do it with your arms across the chest, which is the way that I will do it and describe. You can do it with your arms down to the sides. Just try as best as you can not to push with your arms. We really want to be isolating our legs with this one. Or you can take some resistance, hold it tight to the chest, and we'll do it that way. So you choose which route you want to go and what stage of your fitness journey you are on. So as I mentioned, I'm going to do it with my arms across my chest. So with this exercise, you're just gonna lean forward. We always say nose over toes. So you don't wanna try to stand up with your weight back because obviously that's gonna make you wanna go backwards. So you're gonna make your momentum go forward and stand up, just like that. All right, we're just gonna do 8 repetitions actually, okay? So we're gonna inhale as we go down and exhale as we go up. I think 8 is a good number to start with if you're just getting going with this strength training. 5, you can always go up. 6 in terms of numbers. 7, but we don't want to pull back. And last one, 8. Okay, very good. You're just going to sit back down, okay? So as I said, this is just going to be a beginner's workout. I can't emphasize that enough. So we're only going to do 1 set per muscle group, right? When you progress, so after a week or so, as long as everything's feeling okay, you can do a second set of each of these movements. But I always emphasize starting very slowly and then gradually building up, as you know which movements are going to be appropriate for you or not, and as long as you feel okay after the sessions. All right. So exercise number 2 that we'll do right after the sit to stand, which works your lower body, is an upper body exercise called a bicep curl, but we're going to add some balance into this. So with that being said, I'm just going to turn my chair around so I have something to grab onto just in case I need to. I'm going to put one foot slightly in front of the other so my feet look sort of like this in terms of how they're positioned. And that's going to bring balance into the equation a little bit because we're not standing with our feet how they normally are. You're trying to stand in a position where you're slightly off balance, okay? You're gonna stand up nice and tall with your shoulders back, your core muscles tight, and we're just going to do 8 bicep curls. Just like that. 4, inhaling down, exhaling as you go up. 6, 2 more, and 8. Very good. Okay, so that was an upper body kind of, we call it like an accessory movement, so very small muscle group. So we did the legs, we just did our biceps, which is a small accessory muscle group. And now we're going to do an exercise for the back. So really great posture exercise. So as we get older, we want to make sure that we're standing nice and tall. Our low back muscles are good and strong and have muscular endurance in them. So we're not getting tired when we're doing things like cooking or dishes or anything that we're standing for long periods of time. So strengthening up these lower, really all of the back muscles is really critical for good function, all right? So I will take my resistance again. And again, you don't necessarily need dumbbells. If you have cans, if you have jugs of water or jugs of anything, you can certainly use those as well. Anything with weight will work. With this one, I'm going to hang the weights down to my side, put my feet about shoulder width apart, bend my knees slightly and lean forward. You don't have to go all the way down to your parallel to the floor. Just a nice 45-degree angle is totally fine from the floor if you can. And all you're going to do is inhale before you start, and then exhale as you pull back. And you're gonna pull back and squeeze your shoulder blades together. So inhale down, exhale as you pull up. You should feel your lower back starting to tire a little bit. 4, and that's actually good. So the more exposure that we can get to resistance, the better that you will function without it. And this is 8. That's our 8th repetition, okay? All right, so that was the bent over row, so very good exercise. Again, we're just doing 1 set, just to introduce you to this style of training. And then I'm actually going to take a seat now, so we'll do a seated exercise for the second movement here, okay? So this one, I'm actually going to give you 2 examples. The first one, they're both gonna work the shoulders. So the first one is going to be going above your head. The reason why I'm giving you 2 exercises is because a lot of people have rotator cuff issues, have issues with their shoulders, have had previous injuries. So we're dealing with all of this over the course of the last 13 years that I've had Joint Effort. So we understand that not everybody can go above the head. So you can do one of 2 movements. The first one is the shoulder press if you can't go above your head. So you're going to sit straight up in the chair, and you're just going to press straight up with the resistance. If you have a heavier dumbbell, I suggest you don't use any resistance at all. You just use your arms. But if you have like anywhere between, let's say 2 or 3 or 4 pounds, you can do that. If you can't go above your head, you're going to get to the front of your chair. Inhale, and then exhale as you go up, just like that. So you're going to still be working the shoulders, but again, just in a much different way. That's normally okay for people that have shoulder issues. Everybody's different. This is why we really personalize everybody's program at Joint Effort. That's my theory behind how we should be exercising as we age. But again, this is a really beginners and a generalized program. All right, so I'm going to do the shoulder press. So I'm gonna put my dumbbells up towards my shoulder. I'm gonna inhale and then exhale as I press up. So whichever movement you are doing, let's do 8 of those. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 more, and 8. Very good. All right, so that was the shoulder press. Again, if you did the lateral raises, that's completely fine. They're still working the shoulders, and I hope they felt okay. All right, we have 2 more movements and you are totally done. And what I'm going to do actually is move this so I can show you the right way to do it. I hope I can find an angle that works. We will see. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. All right. So this is called a wall push-up. Very simple, and it's very self-explanatory. What I'd like you to do is put your hands down about chest height, hands about shoulder, a little wider than shoulder width apart. And you're gonna stand about 18 inches from the wall. So you don't wanna be too far from the wall where you're pushing yourself backwards, obviously. So you want your feet about maybe 18 inches or maybe even 2 feet away from the wall. You're going to inhale as you go down and then exhale as you go up. Okay, this is going to strengthen up the muscles in your chest, your shoulders, and your triceps. So I'm inhaling here and then exhaling as I push out. And with this one, you want to make sure that you are extending your arms all the way out, and that will help you to work those triceps as well as the other muscles. This is 6. 2 more. Okay, all right, that was 8. So that was the wall push-up. So strengthening up all those muscles in the chest, shoulders, and the triceps. I'll explain why that's important in our next video, but I don't want to go too far into it now, or actually in an email, I'll probably put that in, because I want to show you your last exercise is what we call a seated march. Okay, with the hollow hold actually. So, okay, the way that works is, I know I threw out a few different terms there. You're gonna sit towards the front of your chair and you're going to lean back just slightly. I know you can't see my feet right now, but that's okay. So I'm leaning back just a little bit in the chair, not to a point where my back is touching the back of the seat. And so I'm leaning back. I can already feel my stomach muscles working because gravity wants to push me down. So that's fighting against it. And all I'm doing is lifting my knees up. Okay, so we're just going to do 6 on each side for this one. Nice, slow, controlled movement. 3, 4, 5. Should feel those stomach muscles working. This is a great core exercise. Let's do 1 more on each side. And we are done. All right, slide back a little bit more. All right, so that was it. That was a quick workout that really had strength movements that help you improve your strength in every major muscle group. A couple of exercises to help with your balance that incorporated some balance. And that was just a really good core exercise that doesn't involve too much twisting or flexing and extending of the spine. So it's a really good core exercise, even for people that have low back discomfort or any other joint issues. So I hope you enjoyed the workout. As I mentioned earlier, it's really important that if you have any chronic pain, illness, anything, previous injuries, to have a personalized plan created for you. This is just a generalized plan for anybody that just wants to get into this, that doesn't necessarily have any orthopedic concerns. But if you do have any orthopedic concerns, please feel free and want something more personalized for you, please feel free to reach out to me at george@jointeffortexercise.com, and I would be happy to help. Again, this is a beginner's workout. If you want, you can do 2 sets of each of these movements in a row. So if you wanted to do 2 sets, you would just do, like, say, when we started off with those sit to stands. So you would do 8 repetitions of the sit to stand, and then rest about 30 to 45 seconds. Do a second set of the sit to stands, rest another minute or so, and then move on to the next exercise. All right, so if you wanted to do a little bit more, you could certainly do so, but I want to make this video relatively quick for you, that will hopefully help you to improve your strength, balance, and functionality. So again, if you have any questions, my email is george@jointeffortexercise.com. I would love to help, and I hope you enjoy this. Enjoy the rest of your day.